right? You know, I'm going to go in as far as stating that we have to realize that there is trust and equity going on all the time. The point of how this works and how it's going to work for you is it's about perception. It's how you perceive things, okay? There are trusts being established around you all the time, and you are establishing trust. But what's going on is the abuse and the miscomprehension of things is not setting your position within the trust. Okay, because there are always parties make an attempt to appoint you for the liability of things. Now, how does that occur? It occurs because you are participating in a monopoly or an arena that you have not made anything special. And without making it special, it's public by default, which means that it's up for grabs. And when things is up for grabs, normally they're going to be grabbing for yours. So protection comes in the establishment of trust. Protection, perception comes in at the establishment of trust, because trusts are being established all the time. So first, you have to have your perception tuned in so that you can see that there's trust being formed, and you do not want to be on the side of the liable party. Whatever you're doing, you want to be granting, benefiting, and you want to also, without liability, you want to have responsibility to helping others in a position of trustee, because you cannot receive until you give. So sometimes you have to give service. As a trustee, you have to give service to life or the all in order for you to play the benefit or the grantor. Sometimes you might have to start at trustee. No one ever thought. You might have to start at trustee without liability, but for service. And then you will benefit. And you have to learn how to grant. You have to learn how to give, because without giving brews selfishness. So again, the aspects of grantor, trustee, beneficiary is always there. You have to identify with it in order for things to come into focus. And now you're the floor.
Now, we came out of the Holy Tablets earlier, and we read it to you in equity eyes. And we're going to come out of the 13 maxims of equity, which comes from the Maya, the ancient Egyptian Maya. And maxim 1 says, equity will not suffer a wrong to be without a remedy. And through my experience, I've encountered Moorish Americans, black people, white people, Nubians, Muslims, whoever you may be. I've encountered family and people who do not know how to calculate wrongs or even a remedy. Let me see some ID. It's what the officer asks you, and immediately you breach your trust because you do not know how to operate in equity. You do not know how to calculate the wrongs that's being done to you. And even after you calculate the wrong, you don't know how to calculate the remedy. Let me see some ID. And immediately you breach your trust because you do not know how to operate in equity. You don't have a disclaimer, and you don't know how to give an order from a grantor's position. Let me see some ID. Immediately you go into trustee and you try to inform and explain, I'm a Moor.